Hello, this edition of Please Note is coming to you via Skype. We recorded an interview with Justin Lewis Anthony, who is a theologian, a priest of the Church of England, and who will be our keynote speaker for our upcoming clergy conference in October. So if there are times when it's choppy or when the picture freezes, just hang in with us. We're learning this new technology, and I've seen it freeze and hang up on CNN and Fox, so if it hangs up on them, it can hang up on us. Justin, welcome to the Diocese of North Carolina.
Thank you very much, Bishop. It's good to be with you.
Justin is, as I said, a priest of the Church of England and a theologian, but he's also the author of two books, one entitled Circles of Thorns, the other one provocatively titled, If You Meet George Herbert on the Road, Kill Him, Radically Rethinking Priestly Ministry. But before we talk about his works, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Bishop, as you say, I'm priest of the Church of England. My parish is St. Stephen's, Canterbury, which is in the city and diocese of Canterbury, and actually includes the campus of the University of Kent, where the Lambeth Conference happened the year before last. I've been here 7 years and ordained 19 years. I was actually born in Singapore and grew up there and in Germany, and didn't come to live in England until I was 12. My wife teaches at the University of Kent. She's a human rights lawyer, and we have 4 children.
And you said earlier when we were talking, having 4 children means you have no hobbies.
No hobbies, no hobbies. I realize that being a parent of 4 children means that you're an expert in logistics and nothing else.
Absolutely. Well, tell us a little bit about your first book, which is of some interest, but we want to talk more about your second one. But this first one, Circles of Thorns, what's that about?
It's about a painting by a Flemish painter called Hieronymus Bosch, who, if he's at all known, is famous for his huge altar pieces, usually in museums in Spain. But Bosch has got one painting in the National Gallery in London, and it's the moment in Christ's Passion in which he's crowned with thorns. The first time I saw it as a student 25 years ago, I was struck by how modern the characters looked. And the more I looked at the painting and the more I studied it, I realized that what Bosch was doing was not painting a moment in Christ's Passion, but a comprehensive understanding of the politics of Europe, the situation of the Church, the most advanced understanding of science and of human psychology of his day. And I wanted to look at that painting and try and apply it to what it meant to be a Christian in the 21st century.
Wow. And that one, it's still available?
Published by Continuum in the UK and the US.
And we'll include a link to that with this edition of Please Note as well. The other book, which is what brought you to our attention here, some of our clergy, we've got one of our clergy theology groups has read your book. If You Meet George Herbert on the Road, Kill Him, Radically Rethinking Priestly Ministry. Tell us about that and that provocative title.
Well, you're right, Bishop. It's a deliberately provocative title, determined to try and get some attention. And it comes out from the experience of my colleagues and myself in trying to fulfill the expectations of parish ministry in the Church of England, which seems to be so dominated by what I call a false memory of George Herbert, who, if people know him at all, think of him as being a hymn writer. Now, Herbert was a parish priest who lived and died in the 1630s, and his memory has become foundational for how we're supposed to do parish ministry in the Church of England. If anybody has ever seen The Vicar of Dibley on television, then you'll know exactly what I mean by Herbert still being alive. So I look at Herbert's real career in the Church and examine some of the mistakes that people make about who he was and what he tried to do. And then I look at the way in which Herbert's memory has been used to shore up the Church in times of struggle or of depression or of decline. And then setting this pattern of ministry, which I call Herbertism, to one side, I make a few suggestions of something that would actually be more true to our roots, hence radical, and more sustainable for the clergy and for the parishes of the Church of England and the wider church. The interesting thing is, on Sunday evening, at the end of our Sunday evening service in St. Stephen's, a parish priest from New Zealand came up to me saying that he had read my book in New Zealand and he wanted to meet the author of Kill George. So I've got tentacles out in North Carolina and in New Zealand, all over the world. It's wonderful.
It's fabulous. And we're going to continue this conversation in a few moments, but YouTube only allows us 10 minutes. And so we'll continue this conversation with Justin Lewis Anthony, the author of If You Meet George Herbert on the Road, Kill Him.